Hello. Hello, everybody. Happy almost Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, etc. Hey, Connor, how you doing? Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I have no idea who's out there. I'm hoping that the game will run, because I'm experiencing a very strange error here, but let's find out, shall we? Oh, boy. I'm sorry I missed last week. Frankly, there's just been a whole lot to do. Is it a fabulous almost Christmas jumper? This, here, you can get a full glimpse of my guy here. This is my favorite Christmas sweater. This is my man. Merry Christmas. So just a quick update on the state of development. Shit is rough. It's difficult. I'm pretty pleased with how it's gone. Right now, I'm essentially just in this hyper monotonous stage where I'm going through my old plugins, the Ultimate Skyrim plugins from Legendary Edition, and porting over anything that I need, and also just kind of reconciling what we have in the previous version with what we have now on Special Edition. So it takes a long time, but it's plodding right along. I have probably about a week in front of me, I'd say, before I get through all of it. And at that point, my plan is to update all the mods that need updating. And then comes what is essentially like the final errors and issues patching, right? So if there are any outstanding errors in any of the plugins, or if there's anything we need to fix from kind of brief testing, then we'll be checking those out. And then at that point, we'll be able to release it to you guys so that you can find all of the bugs that we miss, because I guarantee there will be a lot, frankly. But it'll be playable. Fingers crossed. That's kind of the whole idea, right, is to get you guys the playable version as early as possible this time around, so that you can help us bug test and find all the issues, and hopefully so that you can just enjoy yourselves playing. Let me go ahead and pause here. My beautiful Oblivion music. I can't do it from my own library anymore because my Google Play Music no longer functions. I need to transfer it to YouTube Music, whatever that means. I tried to do that, and then something about the Google account that I'm signed into, it won't let me do it. So who knows? I'll see how it goes. Okay. All right, my goal for this stream is basically, I'll have to sign off a little bit early because I have a meeting with the lead dev on our launcher, and also Tyler, who has put together the UX for the launcher. And we're about to try and jam in the UX that Tyler has designed, so I'm really excited about that. What is the jobs hotfix mod fixes? Well, the jobs mod is the one that I was messing around with in the last gameplay stream. Whoa, what the fuck? Why am I getting 55 frames per second? I swear my computer is falling apart at the seams. It's, I really need an upgrade. I've started to get parts. Why is this at 55 FPS? What about disabling that? E&B, it's really not that much more, to be honest with you. Strange. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. The jobs mod is the one that I was experimenting with in the last gameplay stream, where you can hire on to just like blacksmiths and mines and whatever to earn a little wage. I wanted to throw that in here because I think it's going to be something I try to jam into the first version so that I can get feedback on it. And it really fits, a feature that I want very strongly. So I'm going to jam it in here, probably create a character right now. I'm basically just going to try and create a character and run through some of the early game stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You ever figure out what was up with a random visual glitch? No, I have not. Somebody recommended a lead to me, which was a mesh for birds, like a bird, which seems like it kind of checks out, but I have not really investigated it yet. That would fall into the whole polish and bug fixing and error tracking. I forgot that vitality mode is still enabled. I meant to disable it because I have a different needs mod that I wanted to experiment with. Whatever, hopefully it'll be not a huge deal that they're both enabled at the same time if I disable vitality mode. I'm doing good, Valentine, thank you. I'm doing okay, to be honest with you. The last couple of weeks have just been rough. They're like, the tasks that I'm doing right now are super monotonous, so it's really a struggle to kind of, you know, sit down and force yourself to do it. But it's got to be done, and there's really no way around it, so I've been doing my best there, and I think just coronavirus and around the holiday times makes it kind of difficult for me. But I don't know, it comes and goes in waves. How are you doing? All of you. Yes, plot. Spell research is in. About the only thing that's not, like the big thing that's not in this version as of now is Dragonborn support. I don't have the newest version of Fozars in there yet, so I'm still kind of deciding what to do with that. I'm probably going to end up using that patch, but I'm not 100% certain yet, so I haven't done that. What kind of character should we make? An Imperial, perhaps. First suggestion that I see. How about that? Someone give me a suggestion for a race. Oh, I think my downstairs neighbor is getting floors put in or something, so pardon me if there are sounds coming through. Okay, we got a Nord, and I'm going to make it a female. And then check some of the different presets here. This lady, she's cool. Her hair color is a little weird. Whatever. Give me a name. Is the current SE mod list. If you hit exclamation point mods, it will show you a semi-recent one, but it's not completely up to date. I believe it should be functioning though. Just use the audio really low, the game audio. Let's see, I suppose, when we jump in. Skyrim is always just so quiet. I've complained about this before, but I swear it's like its default setting is significantly lower than most every other game. Yeah, this is honestly super strange. Do I have like a bunch of like, is something taking up my computer's resources, I wonder? Alright, let's go ahead and create a... Why does it always spawn me here too? This is a difficult start. Let's go through, and I also wonder why this is... The string is incorrect, but that doesn't really matter. I'm going to need to adjust some of these very quickly. I'm just going to disable those. I don't really mind. Age hotkeys is something I've not really messed around with. How do you activate it? Oh. But I have it in the build, and I'd like to fuck around with it. So maybe we'll do that right now. Filter for hotkey group, equip set overview. My gosh. Macros, configuration, show favorited weapons only. There's a lot to this. Auto casting spells, hotkey groups, other functions. My gosh. Open, close. Oh, there's a button to directly open the MCM. That's kind of cool. Action menu key. What? This is complex. I don't think I'm going to learn how to do this right now. Let's see what happens if I hit home, though, because Oh, it just jumps right to it. That's actually super useful because there are a couple instances in which I think I'm going to need the ability to jump straight into an MCM like that. Very cool. Weapons player. Slots. I swear everything's just like slightly laggy today. I don't know. I really need a new computer. I managed to get my hands on, guys, if you can believe it. Check this out. After trying and saving and trying to get a graphics card, I managed to get a fucking 3080, right? For MSRP, and it is really hard to get computer parts right now, but I got lucky. Now if only I can get a processor, that would be my next purchase. Oh yeah. Molna, I don't know what BMX has suggested. If you have specifics, I can tell you. Hotkeys. I just want to MISC player. Here we go. This is the spot I want to get rid of. This is a weird thing to care about, but I want to get rid of the coin purse. It always breaks my immersion. So I would never carry my coin purse on my back right belt loop. It's just asking to get robbed. Campfire, clothing craft, this is all fine. Cold region behavior, we should make a slight couple adjustments. First of all, to enable it. That's all chill. Cold region behavior. That's all great. Frozen settings. I don't know what that is, but that's fine. This is good. That's fine. Customizable camera. No problem. Dynamic things. Easy wheel. Enhanced blood. Huh. I want to go in particular and add, or adjust rather. Sure, let's fire up Frostfall. Why not? Well, let me go into some of these other ones as well. On Metal Hunterborn, I equip immersive horses. No, these are all fine. Keep it clean, knockout and surrender. Oh, I popped in this knockout mod that I've been messing around with too, because it's very important to me that we have non-lethal stuff. Let's see here. Do I have the basic version of Skyrim Unbound or the extended one? I have Skyrim Unbound Reborn, Bambi, if that's the extended one that you're talking about. Spell research experience, the mod add-on with the experiences in-game book. Dual shield redux. Wounds populated Skyrim. Dragon combat overhaul DSR ultimate combat. Okay, so I have Wildcat, and Wounds is most likely coming in the future, but is not going to be in there right now. Apocalypse and Lost Grimoire are spell expansions that I'll be looking at, but these are not really... I mean, populated Skyrim is half in there right now. Not the main... I disabled the main city ones and the roads ones just to kind of give them some polish if they go in, but I have some of the other parts, like the adding stuff to... prison cells and things like that. Hold on, sorry. Let me finish doing this and then I'll catch up with chat. Missives, melee power, open cities, predator vision. This one I need to adjust. Options. No thank you for wetness, and no thank you for camera effects. Requiem needs to fire up still. Real names is fine. I want Skyrim Unbound, Sleep Tight. These are all good. Sunhelm will be interesting. This I want to mess around with just to see what happens. This is the new needs mod that I wanted to experiment with. Take notes. Here we go. Trade and barter, I believe, is disabled for now. Oh, is it going to make me go outside? Okay. Oops, I still got something to disable. Okay, that's fine. Requiem, and a lot of it's very Requiem inspired, that message box. Every mod list in WabJack doesn't have immersive armors and weapons. They bad in SE. I mean, they're kind of wonky in general. They're probably better on SE, I think, than they are elsewise. But they're just not amazing. They're pretty old mods, and it shows in a couple ways. Trade routes. Options. I wanted to anchor the prices. I've been messing around with this a whole lot. The kind of economy balance. If you go to trade and barter, you can barter rates, knowledgeable trader, that's all good. I'm going to leave the modify barter settings, barter presets, save current values. I'm looking for the cities, custom race relations, merchant variables. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to turn those off because they need more attention. The updated version of trade and barter is super cool, honestly. Yeah, so Dragon Combat Overhaul, man, it's been so long since we used that. I have not looked into that for a very long time, but I know that Apollo's mods were freed in terms of permissions, so it's probably doable, but in the future for sure. Let me see. How come I have Requiem and Wildcat? Well, they do different things. There's Wildcat I kind of keep around for its AI changes and the general kind of, what's the word? I guess AI feel of combat would be the best summary. But anything mechanical is, I have Requiem still handling that stuff. You basically have to go in and mash them together in a way that establishes that balance. Oh, look, there's little widgets, too. Cute. That's an interesting food widget. Little bread. We'll see how it goes. Why am I walking? Am I over encumbered? I am. My gosh, my carry weight is so low. I wonder what did that. All right, sweet. That's okay. Oh, yeah. Dragon Combat Overhaul is nuts. That is what was responsible for that episode. Ooh, wow. So pretty. That episode of season 1, if you guys have seen it, where I had 3 dragons attacking me in Whiterun. Matter of time. What do we still have? There we go. We'll let Requiem do its thing. Boom. I mean, immersive armors, there's just a lot of the armors are like mashed together meshes of different armors, right? Okay, this is actually bad. I might die with this start. And I gotta drop some stuff too. I wonder what's making the carry weight so low. It could be sun thing. I'm trying to think what I've added that would adjust it, but I actually prefer that. I just don't know what's doing it. I'd planned on doing that and then throwing in cob encumbrance, but I think you guys need a few more ways to improve your carry weight before I go that ham on nerfing the amount of carry weight that you have. I have nothing right now. Cooked pheasant breast. I can drink these. Oh, I get my own water skin just straight off the bat. That's interesting. Maybe that's not Sun. What was it? SunTrust Bank. It could actually be what's it called? Oh man, I'm still over encumbered. Wait. Why does that have a string marker in it? Yikes. Water skin's pretty heavy, but I need it. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need wine. And I can always hold on to an apple. Red apple, steel lockpick. These are light. I'm still not quite there. My gosh. What am I going to drop here? I'm full up. Let me see what's doing that. I'm guessing it's Sunhelm because general settings, arrow weight, sleep. Quiver, coin purse, what's that? So the newest version of Requiem has a... I can always add more in Requiem's menu, survival skill tree. Interesting. I don't see anything here unless I'm just not seeing it. Requiem's new way of handling gold weight and arrow weight is to add these items to your inventory. It's the quiver and the gold purse, or so the coin purse, excuse me. They're abstractions of how much weight you have. I can always drop some arrows too. Oopsie. Okay. Let's get rid of... Here, let me go into Requiem. I'm just going to give myself just a teensy little carry weight boost here because I have no idea what's reducing it. Skills and perks. Atmosphere, perhaps. Did they remove the carry weight option? I can always console myself more. I don't see it. So it must be. Okay. Here, player.forceAv carry weight. Let's call it 60. That should do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, now we can move. All right, everyone, let's try and survive. How's that sound? Why move to SSE? Why not keep making Old Rim, Old Sky better? Just curious, not trying to be a dick. So Special Edition is just far superior. It is way stabler. It's where all of the mods are being developed. I'm very cold. It is a much wider player base, that's for sure. So more people potentially playing the game. And just in general, I guess I'm going to steal this horse. Let's go. I'm wondering, I mean, it's crazy that my frame rate is so low. I don't understand what the fuck is happening there. I haven't restarted my computer since Vietnam, though. Maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, it is just far and away the superior platform. About the only way in which it's not superior, I would say. Oh, God. What happened here? Oh, are you not my friend? Well, frankly, I'm not really in a position to fight anyone right now. I need to get to some shelter. I need to do it fast. Oh, well, you know what? Here's something I need to do as well. Frostfall is probably set to 1.0. Gameplay 1.0. Down to 0. We'll do 3. 3 is the ballsy choice. Thank you, Finn. Only 3 dragons. I had 6. My mage managed them. Was too low level to do a lot of damage. Had a heck of a time dodging. Oh yeah, that's another big one. Is what Molna said, where you can have more than 255 plugins because of ESLs. That's huge. It's been very useful on the back end because that means I don't have to merge mods quite as much. Here we go. I wonder if it's my streaming settings or something. Why am I getting 30 FPS in Winterhold, of all places? Oh, who's this? What is happening here? Oh my god. Stormcloak soldier, huh? Well, so one of the other big kind of things that's happening right now is I'm working on the Minor Arcana integration, which is actually a bit difficult because the Requiem Minor Arcana Special Edition port is built for Requiem 3.4 instead of 4.0, which is what we're running. So there's unfortunately quite a few problems there that I'm having to manually sort out. Are you talking?
What did you do?
Okay, well this is fine. I just need a quick room.
I've already corrected it for future experiments.
This is why people have a problem with your college, Nelligar.
Excuse me.
If there's anything you need.
Oh yeah, I wanted to try out this dialogue mod as well. ECZF. Let's see. So many questions prepared for today. A lot of which you probably answered. Please bear with me. All cool if you don't want to go over them. Hit me. Whatever you got, I will try. I'll do my best to answer. This is not an unreleased version of Requiem, by the way, Valentine. It is standard 4.0.1 unofficial SSE port. Can I have a room, please? It's quite expensive.
I'll show you to your room.
I did not adjust the things first. Also, you can see this wonderful business is not quite... It's like, this does not look quite correct, you might say. Yeah, the blackface glitch, the tinted face mask glitch, as you might call it, is relatively simple. We just haven't gone through and finalized NPC appearances yet. Hey, I'm not freezing anymore. Let's stand here for a second, warm up, and then I'll answer your guys' questions. Also, you can see all these beautiful flickering lights that we need to fix. I'm not quite sure what was up with that Stormcloak, the one with no head who is T-posing. That's something I've never seen before, but I'm willing to bet that it's Minor Arcana because Minor Arcana touches a lot of Civil War stuff. Hey Callista, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
All right, I'll speak to her.
Blah, blah, blah. Alright, we should be good. Let's go ahead and... Actually, you know what? I kind of want to ask the innkeeper if there's any work nearby. No, don't go to bed, please.
If you're business with the college.
I just wanted to show more dialogue options per thing, right? That's my big kind of impetus here. More. You okay? Why are you standing like that? Can you serve me a full meal? What is this?
Of course.
Oh, it must be sun-kissed. Why do I keep forgetting? Sunhelm. Interesting. So I guess that's just a way for you to replenish your needs. That's interesting. I'm good, Callista. Doing all right. Hey, Sakaletius. How you doing? Okay, well, what I really wanted to do here, the smelting jobs around here. There's a typo. It's funny how some of these, this is the same mod. Why is this one a fully phrased question and this one's just a, oh, because he's the job giver and that's how it, interesting. See, that's the kind of stuff that I really like to edit because otherwise it's just, like you look at this innkeeper menu and it's kind of all over the place in terms of copy and punctuation. Like these, no thanks, I'm good. Farms around here. Yeah, see, this kind of stuff. But it's cool. I like it. I'm not sure if I've... Yeah, I agree, Finn. Jesus, Sakaletius, I'm so sorry. Oh, man. I can't even imagine. I'm really sorry, man. That's terrible. Ugh. That is awful. Mulna. Sometimes I do. I think the stuff that I get bored with is more... Like, what I'm doing right now is really boring. it's frankly, like, if I'm being honest, it actually is really hard to get through because it's mountains of X edit work, and it's not tremendously interesting. It's just kind of forwarding data. It's essentially equivalent to data collection, and that part's not so great. But actually playing the game, I really do like when I do get to do that. Miss Goose, is this my... Nope. I'm so sorry, Sacrolitius. That is, I mean, we have 2 cats. I've had cats my whole life. I cherish them with every fiber of my being. I'm really sorry. Where is my room? Is this it? Is this it? No? I'm trying every room in the place. This has got to be it. There it is. I don't think that you'll always miss them. You know what I mean? Alright, well. Whoa! What the heck? Why is this so much faster now? That's weird. Jeez, all these changes that I didn't even know about. This'll be fine. What the heck am I gonna do with this character? God, that makes it actually... I don't like this at all. Is that the dialogue menu that's doing that? Yeah, I feel you, Finn. Ugh, Molna, I'm so sorry. This'll be fine. I mean, I can use the arrow keys, I guess, for fine control, but it's very strange. Thoughts on the locational damage mod? I think it's cool. I like the concept. It's something that we tried to do for a very long time, and it was difficult. So I think that the SKSE plugin is promising. Okay, so I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. Hey, isn't this a cool texture? Callisto. I like it quite a lot. Is he hurt or something? He's got like an animation happening.
Here continue to be just what I need.
And there haven't been any problems.
Are you referring to your other customers? No, everything is quite all right.
Alright, well. Oh, they have theirs there. Whatever. Didn't you just get a full meal? I did, but then I slept for 9 hours. Let's see what I got. Not a whole lot.
If there's anything you need.
Why does he have this idle animation like he's hurt or something? And I can't remember exactly what's causing that. I have a couple mods like at the very bottom of my list that I've just kind of just thrown in here. Effects. That's all fine. Odd. I guess it doesn't matter for now. And it looks like full health. He's definitely walking around like he's injured. Very strange. Either way.
If you have business with the college, you're welcome to stay here. It's where most of our business comes from, in fact.
I understand. Can I overheard something about a college. Can I play blackjack? No, I'm good. I would just like to see what kind of food you got, my friend. This is all fine. I don't have a whole lot of... Oh, I do have a whole lot of gold. Okay. Well, no wonder I have so much carry weight. Jeez. This looks pretty good. Let's buy... Oh, you know what? It is the dialogue menu mod, I bet you, that's making it this way. Because it also affects this. Perhaps. We'll see. It's time to put locational damage into my game. Scripts did some weird stuff. Interesting. I've not tried it myself. I would need to try it out. Keeping Sacrosanct as far as vampire overhauls. Sacrosanct has never been in the install Archmage. But I'm sorry, I misunderstood. What I will very likely do is use Sacrosanct and also Growl the E9 mods. For a lot of those mechanical overhauls, I'm leaning towards E9s. I haven't given it kind of the full testing that it needs yet, but I'm betting that's where I'm going to go. Do I have conditional idles installed? Might be affecting him. I might, but I don't think so. I can... Here, let me check real fast. I didn't think that I turned it on. I think I downloaded it at some point. I don't know. It could be... Like, it would have to be, like, one of these. Let's see here. EVG. Nope. Not that I can see. So it's like something else is utilizing it, perhaps. Or dynamic animation replacer? I mean, that's on. It must be this. But is something utilizing it, I wonder? Who knows? Who can say? He has a stomach ache. I mean, it kind of looks like that. It makes me wonder if it's a... Maybe like a sun helm feature. Let's see. Because I definitely don't recognize it. General settings, playing. No, I'm good there. Refilling animations. Raw meat damage. Ah! Okay, here we go. That was probably the carry weight business. Arrow weight. Sleep level up. I wonder why those two are merged into a single option. That's funny. Toggle bottle returns. Oh, that's cool. This mod has a lot of features from other mods, but it seems like they're all kind of rolled into one, which is really nice. I'm hoping it'll be cool, but I really need to spend more time with it. Damage from hunger, thirst. Roll options, vampire. That's all fine. Okay, well, I don't know. Who can say? I'm going to make a quick little save here. Why not better vampires or other vampire overhauls? I used to run... Was it not better vampires? It was... Oh my gosh, what's the super big one? It's been so long, I can't even remember. Belua Sanguinare. There we go. There's nothing in particular about better vampires that I... Uh-oh. Is this... Speaking of vampires... Is this a vampire fight? Perhaps not. I was gonna say, it should be... Oh, it's a wolf. Deathhound. Oh no, that's a Dawn Guard. Enemy. But the Dawn Guard is supposed to be... Oh, here's... Oh my god, she's terrifying. I bet you this is something to do with Minor Arcana, if I had to guess, because she's a Stormcloak. Also, I'm going to turn off the RAS. Cold. Frost? No, Cold Breath I would like. There we go. Just because it's not edited for ENB yet, it seems. Anyway, I don't quite know. It's not super warm, is it? We're kind of in trouble here as far as trying to get somewhere safe. Is the carriage here? Vampiric Thirst. I'm sorry, that was it. I had Belua Sanguinare way back when. This is my horse, the one that I rode into town. No, that one must have gone. But yes, I used to use Vampiric Thirst. It's fine. I really liked the direction that Enai seemed to be going with Sacrosanct from my kind of, you know, exposure to it. Look at this. I don't understand what is causing this frame rate. But who knows? I need a new computer like nobody's business. I guess I can try. It's very dangerous to try and get somewhere else. Probably my best bet is to take the coast to Dawnstar and then take a boat from there. I think that's what I'm going to try and do. Look at this. It's like there's nothing on screen and the frame rate is not good. I should be getting like over 60 FPS here. Very odd. Unless there's something that I added that's like dynamically pulling or something. I don't know. But yeah, I really liked the direction that Sacrosanct seemed to go. And is that a fox or a wolf? It's a fox, I think. Get some quick experience in if I can get it. And then I can get my own meat. Let's see if he stops. That's a tough shot to make. And oops, I forgot that that's the take notes button by default. I have my restore stamina. Okay, that's cool. Stop moving, please. Wow, that was not even close. Requiem adds a lot of projectile weight now. Also, my stamina is completely shot because I don't have any perks, of course. Well, here we go. I actually wanted to try and become a smith on this character, see how well kind of the blacksmithing works. But in the meantime, that's right, I'm a Nord. I don't have much marksman, do I? You know what? Let's get one-handed. I'm gonna get marksman. Projectile weight. I mean, it's okay. It definitely adds a different dynamic to bow combat. But, you know, it's pretty different. You have to aim pretty high up in order to get a successful shot. Come on, baby. I don't even know if I'm going to do any damage because my stamina is so low. And it's just, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I can't even chase you to catch up. Oh! Got him! I'll take my arrows back, please. Thank you. Did he just clip through this? Did you guys see that? What the fuck just happened? Game, you just robbed me of my fox kill. What the hell? What is going on? Whoops. Okay, and then now suddenly up and down on my... What the hell is happening? I can't go up. It's like it's scrolling all the way up to my very first console command. Frankly... Yeah, look at this guy. Excuse you. Yeah, sure. Why not? Hello, bud. Yeah, what are my abilities right now? Should have quite a lot, actually, because this has not been pruned yet, either. So many. See, like, and this is the other thing. You got to go through and get rid of all this stuff just to make it sensible. Oh. Track. That must be a hunting in Skyrim feature. Forage, drink and fill. Cool. Create item. There's so many options. Hunterborn, primitive cooking. I'm gonna favorite this. Field dress, please. Oh, you know what? I need to adjust the settings then if I'm gonna bother. Okay, so he's still there. He's just kind of weirdly nestled inside this rock. Playing a bunch of games with bullet drop projectile weight, just like having to aim low down on a target in Skyrim to hit them with an arrow. Think about a toxicity system a la The Witcher, prevent players from... Well, so Requiem kind of already does that. Archmage, it's, you can't... You have to wait for the effect of a one health potion to wear off before you can use another one. Yeah, this could be vanilla Bethesda collision. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, but it doesn't look great. And Mulna, the projectile weight, it's not, as far as I know, optional, but I might just adjust it myself. It's just a value like any other value is on the back end. Hunterborn, that's what I wanted to adjust. Features, That's all good. Field dressing takes time. These I'm going to turn off for now. That should take time. Butchering takes time. Scavenging takes time. I'm probably going to get it so that just the field dress is what takes time. Search Snow Fox, please. Can I please butcher meat? I wonder if the hunting in Skyrim stuff will kind of kick in. I've not really... You can see that there's still, in terms of like testing and just polish, there's still so much that needs to be done. It really is a monumental task, all of this, to be honest. Hunterborn... No. Doesn't hunting in Skyrim have its own MCM as well? Am I crazy? Perhaps not. Perhaps it's through a power? I could swear it did, though. Path of the Woodsman. Oh. Sure. And see, like, all of these copy message boxes, like, they're cool, but, like, I don't want the players to have to configure all this stuff. For the crosshair to be a more accurate indicator, otherwise it has no purpose. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my problem with it too, Molna. I mean, it functions in that it shows you the direction that you're aiming. But that's about it. When the projectile weight is so high. The beast in the darkness, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. See, like, it's ascribing a bunch of backstory to my character that, like, I don't necessarily want. So I'll probably edit it the same way I've edited, like, the Requiem ones. I just find it not congruous with the sort of user experience that I'm going for, I suppose you could say. Okay. Let's harvest the ingredients. I just wanted to see if I could get, like, a skinned animal model. I gotta figure out how those two mods are gonna work together. Oh my god, that is so annoying. Alright, well, we're gonna have to be careful. I got some meat. That's pretty good. I can use it. I can eat it. Let's see if the, how well the... I think this would be salt water, so it might not work, but let's find out. Damn it. Water's... Oh, wow. It's specifically... God, that is so annoying. Hold on a second. Mod configuration. Take notes. Options. No, controls. Open journal. Set that to backspace. Oh, which is apparently a equip set with AH hotkeys. How about that? That's cool, though. It accurately recognizes the water and that it's salt. Almost never used resist potions, so I might have missed that. How do you tackle balance issues with so many mods? I know the guy who patched immersive creatures for Requiem had a stock because it became... Well, so that's one way that you can do it, is you have to be a bit careful about what you add, right? Because it's such a complex game and there's so many mechanics and it's also kind of wide-reaching. God, I'm afraid to go to Whiterun now because of how... Oh, this is... Oh, I gotta be careful here. You know what? Let's play it safe. Stick to the shore. And I'll give these horkers a wide berth, too, because they are... God, excuse me. Please don't attack me. I know. This way. Don't attack me. I think you have to be careful about what you add, because the scale and the scope can get out of control so easily. And beyond that, I think you just need to have an understanding of what's in the game and what it affects. And then it becomes easier. For example, with Ultimate Skyrim, it's a little bit less so on Special Edition because this is obviously still very much an alpha build. But I've been rolling with a lot of these mods for so long that I have a pretty good handle on what they do and how they function. And they kind of just, you know, sit in my brain in that way. So whenever the prospect comes up of, excuse me, adding a new mod or adjusting something about an existing mod, I have kind of a point of reference in that way. Hello, Concursus. Thank you for joining us. I like the concept of not having a crosshair, but I've found... Ooh. Friend or foe? I've found it difficult. Hello?
Need something?
Oh, no, I'm good. I find that the practical functioning is sometimes lackluster in my mind, and the crosshair just becomes kind of a uh-oh, this is bad. Okay. Hoo boy. A nice wolf is no joke at level 1. I'm gonna need those. I don't think that's going to help me at all. I really don't have much here to help. Yeah, so, well, scoped bows is cool, but I actually find that somewhat unrealistic in terms of actual, like, archery. But it's a nice idea, that's for sure. How's Old Sky going so far? It's going well, Concursus. I'm just in a difficult portion right now. I was saying this earlier, where it's just a lot of very monotonous edit work at the moment, and I can feel my brain kind of dripping away week after week. But hopefully I'll be able to kind of mix in some other stuff to reduce the monotony. Smoothcam hasn't... Oh, really? Like an arc where it shows where the arrow is gonna go? I know it has the ray tracing functionality. He's only level 5, but he hits hard. Maybe I can hit hard as well. What is my hunger debuff? Okay, well, the health regen is fine. The stamina's not great. Whoa. What are you doing? You trying to psych me out? Oh, he's mine. Whew! Oh, that could have been bad. How's my... I don't have a setup yet for my widget, so I need to check. Is there a simple command to check my exposure rating? Examine forage. Oh my god, there's so many things here. Path of the Woodsman. You know, I could make my character into kind of an evil one. Where is this person back there? Could try and knock them out and steal their stuff. I'm trying to think if I have enough. Here, let's just assign it enough time to get through this. Armor, clothing, effects, notifications. I need gameplay. Here we go. Weather sense. I'm just gonna make that this arbitrarily. Whoa. Oops, did I just set up two? God. Come on, baby. See, my ideal user experience is that nobody ever needs to mess with any of this stuff. Thanks for joining us, Sacrilegious. Take it easy, man. Let's see here. Gameplay, weather sense. I'm gonna, I don't know, this key. Oh, cool. Why is that quick stats? What the frick? How about that one? Sure, just so I can check. Very cold. Alright, that's what I was afraid of. Alright, well, no time then. Ay, ay, ay. Would be nice. I don't really have anything to make a fire either. Ooh, this looks sketch. Here's a cave. Hobbs Fall Cave. It looks like animals maybe in here. Yeah, I know. I love the menus. Gives me a sense of control over what's going on. To be clear, Valentine, I mean, I don't want players to have to mess with settings if they don't want to. Okay, so that's... I hear someone calling for help. This seems bad. This almost makes me think like vampires. And I can hear something bad. I'm just going to use this to warm up really fast, and then I'm going to get the heck out of here. Beyond Skyrim, you say you're most looking forward to? Oh, like individual one? I'm not quite sure. I think for me it's more just I like the concept of the whole thing overall. Is my field of view messed up now? No, okay, cool. Alright, now it's probably, I don't think I can get any warmer than that. Alright, that's good enough for me. I don't know what the hell this place is, but it's a bit much. Hey Fortuna, how you doing? See ya. I just want to not die. Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I want people to just feel like they can just play the game and that everything's set up for them, that they don't have to worry about all these different settings and things. And certainly, if you pop in... It's one thing if you built the mod list yourself, but Ultimate Skyrim users don't. And so, if they jump in and they see this in their magic menu, it's just... Holy shit, like, what the hell is all this? You know what I mean? I think it doesn't really make for a great user experience. I mean, you can still control stuff from, like, the MCMs and things like that. But you shouldn't have to, I guess is my point. You should kind of, more than anything, I want the game to function just like a regular game does. You know, where you fire it up and it just works. And everything's been configured for you, and you don't have to spend a million years making heads or tails of all these random features that you see. Okay. I think we'll be okay here. Thank you, Concursus. Dylan suffers so that we may enjoy, of course. I mean, that's the whole thing. I built my mod list myself. I even looked at all the random stuff. My inventory power list was overwhelmed. Oh, totally. I mean, it's so easy. I built this mod list. I'm looking at all this and going, oh my god. Continuance. Check the status of your needs. Rune, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining us. Thoughts on potion drinking animations? I like the concept. I think that it's one of those things that if the game were built around it to begin with, perhaps it would be good. I think that it's a tougher inclusion. Ah, thank God. But again, with my computer performing the way it is, I'm somewhat afraid to go into Dawnstar. It works well enough with Requiem because of that feature I mentioned where you don't stack potion effects. You have to wait for it to wear off. So you could, if you wanted to, throw in a potion drinking animation in that case. Thank you, Rune. I don't ever want to mod this game myself ever again. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Didn't we try to jump over this fence in one of the other streams and the mesh extended beyond where it appears to? Because if so, that's a bummer. The whole point is that we want to be able to climb all up over everything. I don't think it's going to let us. But we'll try. Actually, just pretend that we're climbing up and over it. How about that? Whoop. Oh, you guys want to see something cool? See how everything disappears? That's because this is an occlusion plane. This is a very useful tool. Oh my god, that's right. It's so annoying. for improving performance. Basically, most objects that you see will have an invisible object within them that prevents stuff from loading on the other side of it, so that your performance doesn't suck. Yes, I'm really liking Sunhelm so far, Bambi. About NPCs using potions. I think if the player... It's one of those things where if you implemented it for one, you'd want to implement it for both, I'd say. Maybe you could do NPCs only, but they already have so many kind of odds stacked against them, so to speak. Not the least of which is their AI. That's why I turned to Old Sky. Rage quit a couple years ago after torturing myself with modding. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I really just, you know, like any other modder. Oh yeah, see, here's the cold idols. So I don't know, maybe dynamic animation replacer was implementing that weird animation on the innkeeper. Putting Legacy the Dragonborn. So Legacy the Dragonborn, I have played through a fair bit of it myself at this point, and I think it's really cool. I'm still not 100% certain whether it's a good fit for Ultimate Skyrim, but I'm leaning more towards yes. It's just very much going to have to be like a future inclusion because it's very extensive, and the amount of work that it will take to kind of bring it in line with everything else will be a lot. But I like it. Someone asked earlier, I forgot to answer, if there's more or less content in Special Edition, and I wanted to reply less. Yes. Just because I'm waiting to add stuff back in until we've got a more established baseline. Hey, do you guys hear that coughing? Here we go. Just can I not make the rabbit leg? Maybe I have to adjust or add a recipe for that. Cooked rabbit meat, thank you. Distilled a cooking station for drinkable water. Will do. There's a cooking station near here. Inns are so unfortunate. They're a mess, as you can see. Rune, this is very much still work in progress. Oh yeah, Archmage, already got you. Are these streams also serving the purpose of keeping you sane? Maybe, Molna. You could argue that for exactly the reason you just described. Sometimes it does, you know, when I'm just plunking away at Xedit for, you know, days and days and days at a time, it can feel a little stir crazy. And you know what doesn't help, and this is obvious to anyone and everyone's in the same boat, just not being able to leave my house. You know what I mean? Once upon a time, it used to be that when I needed a change of scenery or pace, I would go to like the library, or I would go to a coffee shop, just somewhere where I could work and kind of just mix up the environment a little bit.
Don't worry.
You can't really do that, of course, at the moment.
I'm sorry. My mind was just somewhere else. Do you need a room? Drink?
I'm good at the moment. Although, you know what, actually?
Thank you. Here, this is for
Let's mess with some of the bathing mechanics. I don't know if I need to turn them on. Let's check. Yeah, I do. Boom. Did you check how many times you need to eat and drink to get full? I haven't, Bambi, but it would be kind of tough to tell off the bat in the game, because most of the time needs mods have systems for determining how much a certain food item will satiate you, and it's kind of hard to tell what belongs to what category, that kind of thing. For that kind of thing, it's easier actually for me to just look at it under the hood and see how it functions. Hello. Did I turn on immersive speechcraft? I can't remember if I did or not. I'm guessing no. Where's the bathing room? It's usually a trapdoor in these guys. Inns are my favorite locations, and they're the ones that always need the most attention because of Perseids. Inns and taverns, excuse me, just adding in a bunch of objects that end up clipping with a million different things. Oh yeah, my mouse is very squeaky. I'm very hesitant to give up this mouse, you know? Will this work with Keep It Clean? I feel clean and attractive. How about that? Oh, it even declothes me. There's a little soap deal. Pretty nice. This was not the room that I bought the key for, though. Pretty good. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go. So this tub is added by Perseids, and it was originally intended for compatibility with bathing in Skyrim. And I'm not a huge fan of the model. I think it looks a little bit weird, and it has this very strange interaction with the E and B, where it causes this. It's like E and B water, I want to say, causes it. I'm not quite sure what the specific cause is. Yeah, see, here's the actual bathing room. So an option with Dagger full meal for 20 septims. That's pretty cheap. But it is. I mean, it's about where I'd want to hit for someone to just, you know, get some food to heal up with. Look at that water. Jeez. Very clean. One of the other kind of issues, quote unquote, here is that these the rooms all look the same. The bathing rooms, which is not like a huge deal, but it's you know, it would be nicer if they were a little bit more unique. And yes, the tub looks plastic. That's kind of my issue with the model of that thing. Is Holidays mod gonna make it in? It's actually already in there. I don't need that. See, that's like the kind of stuff where having users testing will be very, very useful, because it should work with Open Cities. I've patched it, and I've done a lot of work on it, and there's also a lot of patches that kind of already exist, which is really nice. But, you know, you never know until you've taken a look, really. So it'll be very helpful. The game itself and the scope of all the different features in the mod pack is just so large. What was that? I can't see. Oh my god. Wooter, thank you for the tip. That is ridiculous. Much appreciated. This is like a pub in the countryside. People drinking in silence and avoiding eye contact. I feel very at home here. I feel you. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. But, anyway, yeah, the scale and the scope of the game is sufficient enough, I think, to where we're really gonna benefit from the user testing and getting, you know, the early alpha out. Do I want to be a smith? I would kind of like to see how it functions. Let's go to Whiterun. I can always work as a farmer as well. Sure, let's do it. It'd be a real shame if the dialogue menu mod causes a bunch of issues with the other interfaces. Thank you so much, Wooter. I really appreciate it. Authentic Scandinavian politeness. Any plan to brighten interiors like inns and stuff? Yeah, so they're actually a lot brighter already by default, Dravenous. You can kind of see once we go to one that has the lighting functioning properly, but they're significantly brighter than they were on Old Rim. I specifically tried to address that. Also, if you guys 1:15, so I have to go at 2:30 today because of that meeting that I mentioned. So if you guys can remind me of that, because I don't have my clock visible at the moment. I'll try and keep tabs on it myself, but I'd appreciate it. Modding question: is Vortex a good mod organizer, or is there a better mod organizer? So I've never actually used Vortex myself, Valentine. I think that it is the Nexus's attempt to have a unified mod organizer across all of their different games. And if they've managed to achieve that, that is quite the accomplishment. My understanding is that it works fine, and a lot of people like it. So I'm sure that you can't go wrong. But Mod Organizer 2, for me personally, it's the only real choice for very in-depth Skyrim modding. And again, I haven't used Vortex, so it might do just fine on its own. Whoa, hello. Yikes. It's just Mod Organizer 2's features are incredible. And it almost does everything that I could ever ask for. Let's see, look at this. Fucking 20 FPS. I think my computer needs a restart. And a total rebuild from scratch, but that's not going to happen today. Too new, so not as many features as MO2. The only thing that Mod Organizer 2 is missing that I would like, and it's a very niche request, so I'm not sure we'll ever get it, but I would like the ability to designate a specific directory for the saves of each profile. I would like to determine where saves go on a per profile basis. Other than that, it's just honestly incredible. There's so many things that you can do with Mod Organizer 2 that are just invaluable. Sorry, can I have a blacksmithing job? If you two work the forge and improve weapons and armor on the grindstone and workbench, you can. Okay. I will pay you 5 gold for the 10 items that you forge for me, and after 1,000 items, I'll give you a raise. My God. I will do it. Yeah, see, these things need quite a lot of editing. Some materials, or do you have some weapons or army? I need army. Okay. So I actually can't do this. Oh, yeah, that's right. It gives you these kind of proprietary versions of things. So I actually can't do that right now.
I don't claim to be the best. Take a look.
In Vanilla Requiem, I will need this. The Craftsman's Manual. And now I can slam in. Oops, I went the wrong way, and now I'm going around the long way.
Thanks for the business.
You're welcome. If I go to this sick forge. Oh yeah, check this shit out. Filter by materials. Filter by style. This is CCOR's like new filtering system. I haven't messed with it a ton, but it is really really gnarly. Oh, okay, interesting. So all of these show up. How strange. This is another area you have to go through and really curate your crafting. Unfortunately, that's actually not so bad. You craft a lot of cool stuff. What did she want me to make? Let me double check on that. Recommend better times, Hunterborn. Uh-oh. I swear it was... Didn't she give me a quest? What did she tell me to make? Implement pop-up quest mode Helgen Reborn Moonpath. Helgen Reborn, I would really like to revisit Milna. They're not what I'm working on. The quest mods are not something I'm working on actively at the moment. Was it a dagger? It wasn't a dagger. Maybe, oh, well, I thought she asked me to make something specific. Maybe if I talk to her again.
Have you met my father?
Black's Forge, but... I need some materials. Yeah, I swear she asked for something specific, but I can't remember what it was. I can't make that, though. So this will be interesting to edit. I don't think that this mod will be ready for the first iteration, or at least a stripped down version of it. It would have to be. Did she take all the rest of my stuff? Unless no, they're here. Banded iron armor. Maybe I can just make these and then see what happens. I am getting experience, though. Quite a lot, actually. Yes. It would be very broken. Yeah, this one does look like a big project. Blacksmithing improved job. I need some armor weapons. Improve these. Oh. Well, okay. It's a little
Don't forget to check inside the shop.
wonky, but you can see the potential. Yes, you would need to adjust the experience amidst a whole other bunch of stuff. I hear cats. Let me go and show off one of the interiors just so you can see. In fact, I'll save it so I can adjust the... Did I save it? There we go. You can see whoever was asking about the interior brightness. Jobs of Skyrim. Yeah, so Jobs of Skyrim is actually not what we're using here. This one is Skyrim Jobs, which is obviously different. So this is like what, you know, the inn looks like at night, or sorry, during the day. And if I set the game hour to 0, this is at night. And I think it's pretty much brighter than before. Cats are the best. Skyrim Jobs. Yeah, the problem is Jobs of Skyrim, I believe, has its own kind of issues as well. I think that some of these jobs are a bit easier to manage than others. Like the mining that we tested in the last stream was pretty good. How do I load quick saves? And it's not hard to take some of, like, for example, the blacksmith job. It wouldn't be hard to selectively disable that, or it wouldn't be super hard. All you need to do is get rid of the dialogue, really. But again, there's just, you know, it's a question of there being a million bajillion things that... Oh, did we crash? Wonderful. Super cool. A million things to do. You know what I mean? Why does it say I'm missing a master? I swear that I'm not. You know, I had a feeling. Mining had a few issues, like you couldn't unload all the ore and stuff. That's right. That, like something like that is just... It's difficult. That actually would be tougher to kind of handle. You could add a larger stack, but I think because it's built to function through dialogue, you're going to have a harder time making it super granular. But again, like this jobs mod is definitely something I wanted to experiment with to see how it went, and I pretty much, I don't know, I flirted with the idea of trying to get it into an initial build, but I think it'll the more time I spend with it, the more it suited it seems to perhaps not the first version. Or again, maybe a reduced version of it can be in there. Do I write notes while modding? Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I just had to keep it in my head, I would go nuts. I have a fairly extensive note section in my phone, but most of the time this is my handy dandy little notebook. I use this thing for everything. You can kind of see here. Let me try and scoot in close to the camera here. It's like this is some website design stuff. I don't know if you guys can really see that. This is Christmas list stuff. So there's all kinds of stuff in here, but here's like a brief task list that I was working on. These were some notes from a playtesting session that I did. There's all kinds of stuff in here, really. Here's like a crafting interface that I was kind of designing just as my own. Like a lot of stuff that's in here too is like future plans for like a game that I would build from the ground up and kind of how things would function in that way. There's all kinds of stuff in here, really. I don't know. I like keeping things. Oh, and here's like some interface designs that we messed around with before I built out the original iEquip preset that's in the older versions of Legendary Edition. It's really fun sometimes to go through. Oh, here's a bunch of coordinate data for objects. That was really fun. I think that it's just easier for some things. Some things I actually prefer to type out because I can type more quickly than I can write. And if it's, you know, some sort of extensive system that I'm trying to figure out or design or something, I might prefer to type. But writing things down is very useful if I need to do anything visual or if I'm just making some sort of tiny note of some kind. Keeps you motivated to keep working on it after all of these years. Well, I'd say really CP, it's on the one hand, there's the pure pragmatic motivation, which is, you know, it's kind of Ultimate Skyrim has been pragmatically the most successful project that I've worked on. My YouTube channel, it's still small, but my fans, quote unquote, are here for Ultimate Skyrim. So, oh yeah, here we go. I had a feeling when I made that quick save and it kind of chugged, I was like, something seems odd here. Wonderful. What was I saying? Yeah, so Ultimate Skyrim, I think that there's a lot of potential for interest in the project, and so as someone who's trying to I have kind of two goals. One is to make some kind of, you know, money or living. And well, I should say it this way. The first goal is to hone my abilities as a game developer and a game designer, right? I'm very passionate about games. I love games. I've always loved games. I decided in recent years to try and be a game developer, essentially because of Ultimate Skyrim and because of the positive reaction to it. It gave me this very rare opportunity to hone my game design and my game development skills while also producing something that had some sort of monetary value so I can help make ends meet, right? Even if that monetary value is just Patreon donations and ad revenue on YouTube. It's kind of the two initiatives function as this almost dual pronged approach to it's like a paid internship in a way. So the fact that I even have this opportunity to do it, I feel very, very lucky. More on the idea of the game itself, Skyrim, I think, is a really cool platform for the type of game that I'm interested in. The extreme wealth of mods that are available for Skyrim. What the H? Thank you for the sub, Molna. Appreciate it. Really lends itself to. I think it's why anyone mods Skyrim, right? Is like there's so much potential to craft this platform of a game into something really special that just kind of checks a bunch of the boxes that you're looking for in an open world role-playing game. Also, it's sweet of you guys to say about my work ethic. I often find that I wish my work ethic was even more developed. I've really, really been trying to establish like a schedule. Thank you very much, CP Max, for the sub. And like just a productivity measurement, for lack of a better phrasing. Really trying to log hours. I've tried to get my organization under wraps and kind of, try to improve it because, frankly, like my organization, my work ethic, these are not. Well, this is potentially problematic because this is going to crash again if I try and load it. Let's find out. Third time's the charm. If not, I'll just load one of the other ones and then console myself over. Or we'll go somewhere else. I don't know. I was, like, when I was in school, when I was in college, I would say that I was not a particularly great student. I was an okay student, but I wasn't great. And I definitely didn't go to school for this kind of stuff. I was a film student. I started out programming and then I transferred over because when I was in college, I was a lot more interested in the social activities of college than I was having a very intensive, major. And in many ways, that's come back to bite me. Or, I mean, everything is, we all get experience in different areas, and I believe that they all end up kind of being dots that we connect in ways that are unique to us. But okay. We're going to have to load a different one. One of the byproducts of my education is that I never really established a lot of the organizational skills that I think are kind of necessary when you are building a project of this scale. And so it's been a real uphill struggle trying to learn that stuff after the fact. You sit down and do it, which is half the battle for having any kind of work ethic. It's where a lot of people struggle, myself included, even without a world pandemic. I mean, I relate to that for sure, Molna. It's very sweet of you guys to say. It's just part of me, where I'm sitting. The way that I look at it is that I have this, and I mean, and I don't always look at it this way. There are times that I get frustrated. There's times when my productivity ebbs and flows like everybody's, I would say. But I really do try to log the hours because I feel like I have this crazy opportunity on my hands to have that internship, as I mentioned it. The fact that I was able to get any sort of following on this and that there are people out there who are willing to support my work is really, it's a humbling thing for sure. And my dream is to eventually, hopefully one day, make my own games, perhaps from scratch, or, you never really know what the future holds, but I know that I still need to hone my skills. This is what I'm trying to do very badly, is just improve my game design, my project management skills. I never thought either that I would manage a team. The fact that we have a team of volunteers that works on the project with me is just insane to me. So it's a very wild experience. Social activities, he calls them. Yeah, you know how it goes. Team didn't really struggle in high school and college, so I learned no useful life skills. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, Molna. That, like, when I was in high school, it really was the same for both high school and college, where I have very good friends, I've said this a million times, who are kind enough to study with me, to lend me their study materials that they would put together. It's not like I was a non-participant, but I think that I didn't have to work as hard because I had friends who were working that hard for themselves. And it's funny because if you think that by doing that, you are kind of hacking the system, perhaps in a certain light you are, but you earn what you earn. And if you don't earn the skill of, time management or keeping yourself productive or learning how to measure your productivity so that you don't go insane, or just all the different skills that come with building something, of any size or scale, there's no escaping it. You know what I mean? Like, it will come back to bite you. So it's just been a really funny experience in that regard. I don't know if I ever thought, that, I don't know. It just, you can't fake a skill that you don't have, and it's different than, I think a lot of the time people, oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh, geez. What is happening? Why am I... Is this why? Okay, this shit is going wild. Okay. Oh my god. This shit is broken. What is happening? Also, I wish quick saves didn't overwrite each other. This shit is nuts. So maybe this points to why the frame rate was strange. It almost feels like a bunch of stuff might have been processing still in the background or something. I have no clue what is happening here. I'm gonna try and get to the menu. Okay, that's fine. I still can't stop it. What the hell? It's like you started a new game mid-save. Yeah, I don't know what the heck. What was I? Burn myself out 4 times. Organizing words, key lesson. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know what's happening here, everyone. I'm gonna have to restart this. I can't remember what I was saying. Just something to the effect of, working. Oh yeah, that's what I was starting to say is, I think with a lot of jobs, there's this feeling that you kind of have to fake it till you make it, right? Like when you're trying to get a job, and once you're there, maybe then you can try and make up the skills that you kind of fudged a little bit. I think that's a very risky approach. I understand why. I mean, I've done that before, where you kind of put your best foot forward on a job that you are mostly qualified for, and you can kind of hope that you make up the difference afterwards. But you do have to, and it seems like a basic statement, but you can't. I think that there's anything I've learned from my wife, who is just the most productive, hardworking person I've ever met. I think you do yourself and your employer, whoever, a disservice if you pretend to have skills that you don't. And there's no way to acquire the skills you want besides doing the work. That's the part, if there's anything that I've learned since, graduating college 1,000 years ago, and living in the real world, working in the real world for however long, there's no substitute for hard work and for just putting in the hours. And it's just, or if there's a way around that, I just, I don't know it. Oh, I'm glad you got it taken care of, Archmage, because I have no idea when it comes to Twitch stuff. Yikes, is when you have fun that you burn the brightest. Organization, discipline, keep you sane and healthy. Yeah, that's been a big lesson. I mean, Plot, you and I have talked about it a million times before, where I think that there's this, at least for me, it was like a hard lesson, but the effects of burnout and of not taking care of yourself are very real. It's so tempting, I think, to neglect certain portions of your routine or your life balance because, you have to meet a deadline or you have to whatever. But it's another instance where, like, you can't escape it. Like, the toll will be paid one way or another. A good example here, a practical example, would be if any of you guys were around for when I first released Ultimate Skyrim 4.0, there was, that was a big push. That was the me finally deciding to pivot wholly towards Ultimate Skyrim as like my main thing that I did. And with it, I placed just a million expectations on myself. I wanted to make, this massively improved version of Ultimate Skyrim. I wanted to kind of blast back into the scene with this, incredible piece of work. And the scope of it was just the scope was too intense, and the deadline that I created was just unrealistic. And to meet that deadline, I just destroyed myself. I felt like I didn't really bounce back until months after. And that's what I mean with the whole, you're like a tree. where I was just making this analogy with my wife yesterday. That's probably why it's fresh in my brain, but if you get chopped in half, I'm sure that you would have the same rings analogically as a tree does if you chop it in half. And what I mean by that is your body takes its toll no matter what. If you treat your body poorly, if you treat your mind poorly, and you don't take care of yourself and balance yourself and, just kind of do the difficult things that keep you sane, like Plot said, of, organizing and taking the time to be disciplined and be organized, taking the time to take rest, it will catch up with you. And ironically, I think people don't do that stuff because they're so worried about, being productive enough. And the irony is that is that going to happen again? I wonder if I'm all the way back in the frozen hearth here, so it's almost pointless. Ugh, that's so annoying because I really wanted to play on that character. I'm going to give it one more attempt on the autosave just to see what happens. The irony is that if you take the time to take care of yourself in those ways, I think that you end up being more productive. This is not an original idea. This is what a million people have said. Oh, God. Here we go. No, it's... Yeah, and it's like this is so weird. I don't even know what the hell. I'm going to have to quit out of this and start a new... I mean, what could possibly be doing this? It's, yeah, I don't know. It's, you really are not doing yourself any favors by not taking care of yourself. And I say all of this... and I still struggle with it, you know what I mean? All the time. Like my exercise schedule has been terrible lately. I've mostly just been working. I'm probably, to be honest with you, experiencing a bit of the burnout that I'm describing to you. But it's a bit better, just the way that anything is when you're kind of trying to actively focus on it. And I know it happens if you don't do it, because it's happened to me, and it is rough. Okay, we're still good there. I don't know. Well, we'll start a new character and see what happens. Played Daggerfall for the first time. Imagine your quest to make the perfect Skyrim attempt to recap. Oh, yeah, absolutely, CP Max. Daggerfall is a big inspiration for me. I've ironically not spent that much time playing Daggerfall myself, but I have played it. I know I've watched a lot of Daggerfall, or a fair bit of Daggerfall, and... there's so many things that it does that are kind of my ideal in an open world game. My ideal open world RPG is a weird cross between Daggerfall and Morrowind and Elder Scrolls games. Daggerfall and Morrowind specifically. The Sims is another big one in there. Games like Cataclysm, Dwarf Fortress, these kind of RimWorld. The interactive systems and kind of dynamic emergent scenarios that result. Minecraft is a big one. Just the idea of, crafting and kind of getting plugged into your world and connected with the world by virtue of the things that you find in it and what you can do with them. I think it's a big one for me. I think that most role-playing games in a strange way of looking at things. Well, there's a couple different types of role-playing games, but I think that in games like the ones Bethesda makes, right? And this is another thing that I've said a million times. The games are almost fun. I mean, the games are about building your character, but what you're actually doing fundamentally in the world is you're going around and you're collecting different things, weapons and armor, ingredients, components for crafting recipes, whatever. All these things are designed to let you, to be of service to you in some way towards the goal that you've set as a character. And that's kind of like a philosophy that I really hit on. I have not tried Outward, but I am familiar with it. Let's start a new game, see what happens. Hi, Motions, how you doing? It seems pretty cool. I've watched people play it. I've not played it myself, so I can't really speak at length as to kind of what its systems are. The survival systems in Red Dead, I thought they were fine. The issue that I have is that, I mean, Red Dead is a confusing game. It's a game that has one foot in two worlds. One world is a very linear, very story-driven narrative, and the other world is this ambient, open world, mechanical world. And the problem is, in my mind, when you have that former world, the very scripted, very linear narrative, when that world is so important, that's what the developers, I think, really cared about. They wanted you to experience this story that they've put together, because it's so great, right? And because of that, I think that they were afraid to make the mechanical portions super necessary. So Red Dead has this issue that many AAA games run into. It appears to me that Cyberpunk is going to be similar, as I'm playing through it now, where it's almost unnecessary to engage with the game's mechanics in order to complete the game. And in my mind, that's not a super... Like, if I don't need to do I didn't need to do anything in Red Dead's, kind of survival mechanics to survive all that much. I don't know. It just, it's almost like Skyrim in a way, to be honest with you. Like, Skyrim, in its baseline form, is a very easy game that will never, ever really challenge you all that much. See, I swear, I feel like it's strange to me that so many of the menus did not appear there. I don't know. Something's weird here. I can't quite place it. When other Wabbajack mod things update, sometimes new save is required. Yes. Well, so most of the time when I update Ultimate Skyrim, you'll need a new save most of the time. I mean, we're going to use the same semantic versioning as most projects do, where you have, the first it's number, point number, point number, right? Oh my gosh. And that versioning structure generally means if you only have the last number, the patch number change, you shouldn't need a new install, or sorry, a new save. But if it's anything more than that, you will. And I always kind of just advise that people... The thing about changing any mod lineup mid-save is that you're asking for trouble. There's really no truly safe way to do it. So I always kind of put that as a disclaimer. But, I mean, you can always try. Skyrim Jobs is different from Jobs of Skyrim. Yes, that's why I joked earlier that it's so confusing. Also, whoa. Did you guys see that? Interesting. Well, now we have this like brand new character. That's unfortunate, man. How's Alt Sky SE going to handle marriage and adoption, if at all? As of now, it's just vanilla. Archmage. It's just Hearthfire. I mean, Hearthfire is expanded a little bit in terms of the stuff that you can build and things like that, but it should otherwise be vanilla as of now. Hey, Tayson, how you doing? Sorry, I missed your message. Survival mechanics felt optional in Red Dead 2 as a way to upgrade your character and realize you're going to have to follow it. Yes, I mean, that's my kind of thing is like there's a certain philosophy in which, you know, game mechanics that you don't have to engage with are a plus, but it's not the kind of thing that interests me personally. It kind of cheapens the experience somewhat. It just makes me feel like I'm, you know, I'm not really living in a world. I'm kind of like a child being taken on a tour. Frankly, that's the feeling that I've been getting from Cyberpunk thus far, if you want a more contemporary kind of example. And don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying Cyberpunk. I think that it looks beautiful, and, you know, the visual dressing is really beautiful. It reminds me a lot of like Novigrad, right, in Witcher 3, where you had this probably one of the best represented like medieval cities that you've ever seen in a video game, right, where it just looks so cool. And I mean, it's still small in terms of the grand scale of it, the same way that I think Night City is, but it feels big, and it looks big, and it looks lived in, and it's very detailed, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. But if you try to pluck any part of it, you kind of realize very quickly that it's mostly just a facade. You can't interact with it in any meaningful way. It's just there to be window dressing when you're moving from, you know, mission to mission. And the story of the missions is what the real thing to do is. And that's about all you can do. By contrast, what I prefer is like if we look here, let's take Whiterun, for example, because I apologize, guys. It seems like things are getting a little weird. I don't know what that whole issue was with the character, so maybe there's some stuff I gotta fix here before we can even really play through this in earnest. I was having a good time for whatever it's worth until that weirdness. But so you look around Whiterun, right? Like, let's kind of walk through this together. Here you have this city where everything that you see, or at least ideally, is something that you can interact with. It's something that has a purpose, has a function that could help or hinder whatever personal goal you've set. Every character, this character, that character, right? Like with something like immersive speechcraft, every one of these characters is someone that you can interact with. You could, you know, I mean, there's a lot of characters that already have a bunch of interactions, but with immersive speechcraft, all these kind of populated characters have a purpose. You could try and become friends with them, get them to follow you. You could try and get them to goad them into a fight so that you can get into a fist fight with them, because maybe that's what your character does, is role play, and then afterwards you can loot their body and take stuff. You can take the stuff that's on their body and you can go and sell it, or you can repurpose it for some other goal. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is pointless. Nothing is just window dressing. There are things, like I'm sure if I go over here, right, like, okay, this actually worked out nicely. Every one of these crates is something that you can open up and steal stuff from. These goods that are in here, this wine can be used in a million different ways. I mean, not a million, but in several different ways. You can empty it out to use the bottle to fill up with some water. You can drink the wine and get the most basic kind of, you know, buff from what it is. Maybe your character is built out so that you get bonuses from being drunk and stuff. Like, we'll have that in the game. You can take the wine and hold on to it because the wine is actually worth more in certain areas of the world. So you can kind of build a stockpile of trade goods and commodities and kind of learn how to do that. There's just a lot of different things that you can do with all the different stuff that you see. And that, to me, that's the kind of game world that I want to live in, right? Or like we walk around like we can go here into the sewers, right? Like this is not just a random sewer grate. It's a location that you can go to. If you go into the sewers, you can use the sewers as an alternate means of traversing the city. There are also actual reasons why you might want to do that. Maybe you're a thief who uses the sewers to get around Whiterun to steal things. Maybe you have a bounty where you actually can't be seen in the city proper, but you still need to do something in Whiterun, and then those sewer systems allow you to kind of get it done. Uh-oh, what happened? Who's fighting? It's just all, or maybe you're a vampire, you know, where like you need to get to Whiterun and you literally cannot be out in the sunlight like this, so you use the sewers. And then, okay, maybe you live down there, you know what I mean? Why are you guys fighting? Who knows? Oh, now this guy's fighting the... No, he's fighting this guy. Come on. Who are you? Yes, this is Open Cities as well. Veteran. Wait a second. Is that's not supposed to be on right now. There's some weird stuff going on in this build, guys. I thought I turned off populated. Or at least populated cities, towns, and roads. But hopefully that kind of explains to you guys the difference in what I find interesting versus, you know, what is happening in a game like Cyberpunk or Skyrim. And so this is like another, you know, kind of interesting point is like, okay, so those are disabled. Weird. I don't know. It's just that to me is the difference between like a real world versus like a window dressing world, or a world where, you know, it's like maybe there's mechanics and they kind of go a little bit further in making you think that there's meaningful mechanical interaction going on, but there's actually not. And that's kind of, it's a problem that's very difficult to solve, because like take, you know, Skyrim or Cyberpunk just as an example, or Red Dead 2, it took so like a monumental effort in all three of these games to create the worlds that you see. Going even further and adding in all of these kinds of features like I'm talking about, it's a lot more than that. It's so much more additional effort. At a certain point, you would expect these games never to come out if that's what they were trying to do. It's why you have games like Dwarf Fortress, for example, right, is probably one of the most mechanically complex games ever. And one of the reasons why they can do that with any sort of relative efficiency is because the game itself is very graphically simple. They don't have to, you know, when they program a new interaction for people like making chairs, they don't have to animate a dwarf character making a chair from scratch or things like that, if that makes sense. Do you plan on doing anything akin to Mara loot down the line, chests at the end of dungeons? Well, it depends on what you mean by that exactly, Archmage, because Mara loot's general philosophy and Requiem's general philosophy on loot are very similar. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. I'm going to load back up. I want to load and see if we don't get another weird set of messages. But we'll check it out. I just want to load. I want to load back Aveline or whatever her name is. I don't know what the hell's happening there. I'm starting to wonder if it might be Requiem Minor Arcana, because before I actually had to scramble to get everything ready for this stream because Minor Arcana was giving me some trouble. And it'd be very weird for it to have caused all the rest of what we just saw. But you never know. You never know with this game. Buddy of mine told me to check out your Monday streams. I'm so glad I pinned it. Oh, thank you very much, Industry. Starting the Cyberpunk definitely has some issues. Not really yeah, I mean, everyone's kind of finding this out, right? Where now the famous kind of clip is everyone keeps punching this person in a wheelchair, and then the person just gets up and runs away, right? So it's really funny. The issue, it's like Midnight City feels like a very living, breathing city as long as you don't touch it like in any way. If you came into this game expecting like an actual dynamic world that reacts dynamically and perhaps I should say emergently to your things that you do, you're going to be disappointed. Cause this is it's like the more action, like, just making an open world is fucking really hard, and it may, like, Bethesda games get shit on a lot. Pardon my French. Bethesda games get shit on a lot because they have so many bugs, right? Like when they release. And to preface, many of the bugs that Bethesda releases with are not great. They're things that very well could be fixed, and aren't. So, they deserve criticism for that. But as someone who messes around with this engine constantly and is, jamming in a million mods and making them all work together, I think I've grown a real appreciation for how difficult it is to create an even like a smidge of a dynamic world, right? The amount of reactivity that you have to account for, all the different weird things that can happen. I believe that there's like footage from Oblivion's like making of documentary, I think it was in there, where they talk about their Radiant AI system, right? The Radiant AI system, of course, is the same system that determines Radiant quests and some other things in Skyrim, but also Oblivion. If you guys weren't following Oblivion when it was being developed, the Radiant AI system was this much-touted revolution in open world AI, where you had characters that had their own kind of personality attributes. They had their own desires and kind of schedules and just things that they would do dynamically. And this AI, I think initially, if I remember correctly, was really cranked up. And they essentially, when they programmed in the systems and they said go nuts, the game world went nuts, like literally, and not in a good way. You started to see super weird things happen, right? Because the AI was just completely left unfettered. And it became a problem because that's not like the game that they were trying to build. They wanted to make AI that felt real and, the world would feel reactive. They didn't necessarily want, massive fights happening in the streets because one character tried to steal another character's sweet roll, and that caused this character's factional affiliations to kick in. So now all of the guards are like murdering every beggar or something. Like just weird things start to happen. We even just saw a little snippet of that a moment ago in this game, where for some reason the guards were attacking that guy. I'm not quite sure why. That's the kind of stuff that can happen when you try to add any level of emergence. And that doesn't mean that stuff can't be done. It means that if you're trying to do that stuff and you're also trying to tell some sort of incredible scripted story, and you're also trying to make the world look just graphically beautiful with the most contemporary 3D graphics, it's like you're talking about a monumental task. And these are massive teams. I mean, the size of a team and the efficiency of the team are not the same. A lot of the time, if a team is mismanaged or if it's too big, that can create productivity problems. But a larger team is generally capable of outputting more than, a small team or a singular person. Still, it's just such a task for them to do. Let's load this in. Let's see what happens. Problem with modern games: too much graphics. That's expensive. Exception was Spore. Algorithmical graphics, animations dynamically grew out of the model created. Right. So that's a good example of a really cool system that sometimes was like wonky. Yeah. Look at this. Look. Oh wait. So it's freaking out every time I try to load like any save. It's just not freaking out with... Guys, this is wild. Well, actually, that makes me feel a little bit better because that makes it seem like it wasn't something specific about the other character. There's something going wild here. And I was telling you, like, the frame rate, it makes me think something's not right. I mean, as if we needed any other indication that something wasn't right. But I am curious. I'm just going to let this run and see if it ever kind of ends. Yeah, have you ever seen anything like this? Oh, okay, so Requiem just started. Now we got spell research going off. Knockback add perk quest. And we didn't see a lot of that stuff happening beforehand too. I'm just going to keep hitting this. Happening I had more ESP than I could handle. Remove 2 random ones. Oh, you know what? It could be that. Because we are right up against the edge here. Let's find out. Let's disable some plugins and see what happens. That's first-rate immersion. Yes, of course. I hear a lot of people compare Skyrim to Dishonored. I think they're more condensed, not as open world. Skyrim is really stretched out. Yes. So Skyrim, the famous kind of adage was it is wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle, right? Because it's really hard to make a very, and I'm not excusing Bethesda, but it's really hard to make a very reactive, deep game that is as wide as some of these games are. And if you look at Skyrim, like the game world itself, it's not that big. You can walk from one end to the other relatively easily. There's tons of stuff packed in there. It's still it's so much. It really is so much. And if you look at, like, let's take Ultimate Skyrim. Ultimate Skyrim is a mod pack that hopefully, ideally, has a ton of stuff to do. That is interesting to players, that hits all those check boxes that I mentioned a moment ago when I was just kind of talking about, like, this box has this wine and blah, blah, blah. So hopefully it all fits together where it takes that wide ocean and adds the depth that we all hoped was there, right? Because could you imagine something cooler? Like, whoa, like if you had like this massive world that mechanically was deep and satisfying, I think for most of us that's like an ideal game right there. It is for me, which is why I spend time working on this. But it's only possible, this was my overarching point, because there's 9 years of mods from modders, you know what I mean? Just that we can kind of utilize in order to establish this level of depth and complexity. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to take, it's something also it could be. So I'm going to get rid of these jobs. I'm going to get rid of jobs, and then I'm going to get rid of... Well, actually, you know what? I mean, really, this is troubleshooting I should do on my own time, but let's get rid of jobs and then see, because that's going to reduce our plugin count at least a little bit. So now we're at 247. No sweat. So if it's a plugin count issue, that might show up. Or if it was a jobs issue, it might be better now. We're going to have to see. Was Alt Sky Day moved to Mondays? Yes, Shepard. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Valentine. If you're talking about the possibilities when you have a game that is that wide with that level of mechanical depth, I agree. And I mean, this is... I maybe finished saying this when someone was asking kind of what the motivation for me to keep going is I really think that there's a shot here with the platform that Skyrim is. I mean, I fell in love with the Elder Scrolls. Thank you, Callista. Much appreciated. I fell in love with the Elder Scrolls when I played Morrowind as a kid. I'm sure many of you guys have seen Ian's Elder Scrolls: The Promise Unfulfilled, Indigo Gaming, that is. And I like many people, share a lot of his ideas and criticisms and hopes for the series. But I always just, the world is so interesting. This very well-written, interesting fantasy world. So you got that mostly checked. You had these gameplay worlds that felt, wide and had all these different characters, and you could interact with every little thing, and it felt like every little thing had a purpose. You got that. It was just, to me, it's a matter of fulfilling that promise. I think that with the combination of something like Skyrim as a platform, or Elder Scrolls 6 maybe, I don't know, but Skyrim as a platform plus all of the super cool additional stuff that modders have added, I think that there's real potential to create a gameplay and role-playing experience that is unprecedented in terms of how fun it can be. Like, it's just, imagine a version of Skyrim where, you know, when you were first playing and you hadn't yet pushed the limits of what were possible in the game world, and it felt like so many different things were possible. And then, of course, the more you play the game, the more you kind of see the edges, and the more you start to notice, like, the facade crumbling in some areas. What if instead of the facade crumbling, it wasn't a facade at all? You know, what if when you thought, oh man, like, what if I had just little things like, what if these, you know, like me saving this gold mine in Markarth causes additional gold supply for their local economy, which then affects the value of gold across the economy of, like, the rest of the world, right? Because, like, that would make sense. Sounds great. Bethesda, I'm sure, would love to implement something like that. They definitely did not, you know, for one reason or another. What if that was in the game? You know what I mean? It's just like, what if all the different things that kind of seemed like they should happen in the game logically based on, you know, the plucking of the web that you're doing, what if they did happen, or what if they could happen? What if you could manipulate the world in interesting ways, not based on your choices the way that games advertise it? And what they really mean is, you know, you're going to get a quest, and during the quest, you're going to get 3 dialogue options, and you're going to pick one of those 3 dialogue options, and from that, you're going to get a very carefully scripted world state that is 1, 2, 3. And usually 1, 2, 3 are not that different from each other, but they're like semi-different in a visual way. What if it wasn't that? What if the game responded to your choices, where your choices were literally like everything that you're doing in the game? You know what I mean? Like choosing to sell these things here, choosing to fight those guys over there. That's the kind of questions that I want to answer, or like the kind of stuff that I want to do. But of course, putting it into practice is the difficult part. So that's what we're trying to do. I don't know where I got off on these tangents, but hopefully it's entertaining in lieu of the gameplay that we've not really managed to put together yet. All right, let's see what happens if I load our girl, Adeline. You know, I find myself weirdly attached to this character, even though we've barely played her at all. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do this one. We don't have jobs on this character. That's weird that it didn't get mad at me. The gold thing reminded me of a mod I wanted. I know it was in US, where the resource value is based on regions, so dwarven ingots were worthless in Markarth, valuable in Winhelm. Yes, that would be trade routes. Callista. Uh-oh. Okay, well, this is still happening. But now what we got to do is... Okay, hold up. My gosh, what a nightmare. Gameplay stream, quote unquote. That would be trade routes. We also have it interact with trade and barter, which doesn't differentiate based on the good type or the good itself, but it does add other little like factors that are fun to mess around with. Let's see here. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Take the level of story from Mass Effect Trilogy and make it world depth. Yeah, see, that would be very difficult to do. They're almost 2 different kinds of games. I'm not sure. Like, what I'm interested in, just because I don't even know if you can get both of those. I guess Red Dead Redemption would be the closest thing that I've experienced, where they created like a semi-deep mechanical wide world, but also had a really strong story. But even then, it's like they're almost like 2 different types of games that just don't mesh in my mind. What I'm kind of more interested in this day and age, and kind of at this point in my sick gamer career, is dynamic storytelling. It's the kind of stuff you see in games like Dwarf Fortress or RimWorld or Cataclysm or a lot of Caves of Cud. Is that what it's called? The new one. These games where there's so much potential for storytelling not because you've had this beautifully penned story by a talented team of writers, which is also fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, I love games like that, Cyberpunk, Mass Effect, whatever. But instead, the game is telling the story dynamically because of the different systems that are working within it. It's something I've really tried to pump into Skyrim, where it's like, you know, you're out on the road and you just happen to meet a Dawnguard faction because the Dawnguard faction happens to be there. It happens to be going somewhere to do something. And on the road, you encounter a saber cat, and you guys get into a fight with the saber cat together. And that saber cat, maybe you were on the verge of death before, right? So you fight the saber cat. Maybe the saber cat was going to get you, and then the Dawnguard faction happened to come out of the trees and kind of rescue you in that sense. And then you got to skin the saber cat for just like that bit of meat that you needed to survive. And now your character just had this crazy, maybe you walk with the Dawnguard into the next town and like follow them into the tavern, and maybe while you're in the tavern you play a game of blackjack, and you kind of what's it called, in your head you establish this story where, you know, you and the Dawnguard kind of became friends, or they recognized you and you were grateful for them saving your life, and then maybe that becomes like your character's future motivation to like join the Dawnguard or something like that, right? That's the kind of stuff that I love. It's when the story is uniquely yours. It came together because of random elements that interacted with each other in a satisfying way and told a completely new story. And games like Dwarf Fortress do this on an even deeper level. All those kinds of the bits about me kind of like headcanoning, like this is what I said to the Dawnguard and this is what they said to me. Games like Dwarf Fortress will go even further, and they will mechanize those elements too, where that's not fake. You don't have to headcanon it in Dwarf Fortress. The characters will talk to each other, and they will, based on their personality traits, say specific things that affect their dispositions towards each other, and you can see what they said and what affected it and why. It's pretty cool, I think. Goals for Skyrim, what many of us dreamed of, done modding. Limits my current as a father, just have the time anymore. I watch what you're working on. Thank you very much, Shepard. You'll imagine what Skyrim could have been if Dylan could travel. Well, see, that's the thing too, is like these ideas that I'm having, they're not necessarily original by any means. These are ideas that game designers have been having since forever. You know what I mean? It's a question of time and money, and if I could go back in time and be on the Bethesda team, I have no idea if that would have changed anything at all, you know, because like take for example Daggerfall. Daggerfall was one of the most mechanically complex, it probably is the most mechanically complex Elder Scrolls game. My God, Connor, what the frick? Oh my gosh, I thought it said you gifted 25 subs right now. I was like, geez, Connor, thank you so much for the sub gifts. Everyone, a round of applause for our boy Connor. Thank you very much, Connor. Say Merry Christmas to everybody. But yeah, my point being, so it's like with Daggerfall, these people, they knew about it. They knew about these ideas. You know what I mean? It's just a question of resources. Did I just get another? Oh no, they're all coming through. Okay. Thank you so much, Connor, again. Everyone, round of applause. Connor is our QA lead for whatever it's worth. He's our team member. I think there's some other team members floating around still in the chat as well. I can't remember. But yeah, so I don't know. These ideas have been, I'm far from the first person to, you know, introduce them. It's just a question of time and effort, and this is what I mean when I say that, you know, I think that with a combination of Skyrim's existing platform and all of the mods that have come out for it, has the real potential here, has real potential to create something that we've never seen before. So I don't know. And I'm testing that. I'm trying to see if it's possible, you know, or at least if it's possible for me to do it or to come close. If there's something I've learned from this whole experience as well. It's that the longer I do it, the more I realize how much time and effort it takes to do all these things. Like what you said, Shepard, being like just having a full-time job and all this stuff, time is the scarce resource, I think. Time and I mean, really it's time. But if everyone is pooling their time. Oh, what I was going to say is that a lot of the time now I see mods that will be like 85% of a feature. And it used to be, I used to kind of think, I'm like, well, I'm going to take this mod and I'm going to make sure that it works 100% exactly the way that I want it to. I'm going to take the 85% that it already does, and I'll just add an additional 15% on top of that and make it work perfectly. Exactly the way that I want it to work. Sometimes we do that. A lot of the time we don't, because after so many attempts of trying to do that, you start to realize, and this points to the importance of like prioritization, like Plot said, and organization is like, you really have to be careful with the limited time that you have. You really want to try and make sure that you're using your time on tasks that are a good ratio of importance to time requirement, if that makes sense. Oh, well, okay, well, Connor, there's also not very much to QA right now, for whatever it's worth. So you're not doing a bad job at all, in my mind. 8 minutes to meeting. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to test this save, and then I'm probably going to call it, just so I can get my stuff ready for the meeting. Have you ever seen Beards of Power? And because it doesn't look like our game, there's a whole lot of gameplay happening at the moment. But I really appreciate you guys joining me. It's been a really fun stream, and it does help to keep me sane, as I think Molna said. I spend a lot of time working on this stuff, just kind of day in, day out. And it's a fairly solitary existence, I would say. And like, of course, I speak with my wife about all the stuff that I'm doing, but she's not a Skyrim modder or a video game player. So, there's a certain degree of inside baseball that just becomes, I'm sure, mind numbing. So speaking with other players, ow! Thanks, Dick. Can you not, please? Oh, yeah. See, you want to talk about some of the systemic interactions? We're seeing it right here. Stop. Gotcha. And then a Whiterun guard helping me. And that looks like a... Is that a band? Oh, shit. Did I just hit the wrong guy? No, I don't think I did. Oh, yes, I did, actually. He might be mad at me. Oh, no, he's good. Why are you naked, my friend? What have you done? Did someone rob you and take your clothes and you got revenge? Don't know. But anyway. Were none of those bandits armed? Were they not? One of them shot me in the gut with that crossbow. Oh, this poor guy. I killed him. Wow. Shot to the heart. Bon Jovi would be proud. Ultimate Scrum is a culmination of Bethesda collaborating with a massive team. Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it, Shepard. It's almost like this collectivist approach to game design is how I've often characterized it. I think it fits really well. It's like the cathedral approach. Okay, I want to start up Requiem. Do I have less powers now? Probably, because I haven't turned off... Whoa. Wait, Requiem for the Indifferent is missing? What? What are you talking about, game? Unless I turned it off. It's on. Alright, guys, we got all kinds of weird stuff going on, so I have no idea. I'm going to have to look at this off cam, so to speak. And I promise I will. I promise it won't play like this when you guys get your hands on it. Until that elk screaming is going to get annoying. Yeah, so all of those sounds, most of them can be selectively disabled. I think it's supposed to be like a coyote or something in the MCM, but there's also quite a few of them that I'm probably going to disable manually, if that makes sense. Just behind the scenes. Any ETA on Wabbajack support? It actually, the Legendary Edition already supports Wabbajack. So if you feel like playing that, you can right now. Thank you, Plot. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to specifically, but I appreciate it all the same. And I'm glad you considered it a productive stream, Molna. Again, it's very fun for me to get to talk about this stuff that I've been working on. And you guys are the target audience. You know what I mean? You're the exactly who I would speak to about this stuff. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Let me see if any of our friends are streaming right now, and we can go ahead and hit them with a raid. Who do we have? Don't hit me with an ad, please. Sign up to experience the bet. Oh, what? Am I not logged in? Okay, that's weird. There we go. Oh, God, now I have to authenticate it with Authy. That's no problem, right? It wants me to tweet about, it says, oh my God. Stop. Okay, wait, here we go. There's a lot. Remember this computer, please. There we are. Also, I'm going to inadvertently watch my own stream right now. No. Shush. Also, I'm going to inadvertently watch my own. Stop. Did it work? There we go. All right. Oh, Zero Period Productions. George is streaming right now. Well, let's go ahead and raid him. Thank you guys very much for hanging out and for chatting with me and for humoring me on all these ideas. And just for supporting the project in general. I hope I stress enough how much it means to me, because it really does. You guys make this possible, unironically. And I very much appreciate it. So with that, I'm going to hit this raid. If you are interested in more Elder Scrolls content, please stick around. Zero Period Productions. That's George. He really is an awesome guy. Creates awesome content, and I could not recommend him more highly. I will see you guys next week, and happy early Christmas. I'll get a chance to wish you a happy Christmas beforehand, but I'm doing it now anyway. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Thank you, Callista. Bye-bye.